Yeah, so IDK, dude. I've been doing this freelancing thing for a while now, but it's not really working out. The bills are piling up, I'm having trouble finding consistent work, and the gigs I do find barely pay me enough to cover rent and groceries. I think I'll just quit, move back in with my parents for a bit, and start looking for a real job. Hold on, dude. Have you tried the OCC sales process, though? The what? The OCC sales process. They say that freelancers who use the OCC manage to consistently close high-ticket clients like clockwork. It's actually crazy easy to use once you understand the 3 steps. Here, let me show you. What's happening, y'all? It's Jay from AppSumo back at it with another knowledge bomb. Today, we're gonna get into the OCC sales process and how you can use it to close more clients for your freelance biz in 2022. But before we jump in, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date on all our latest tips. All right, let's get to it. So as a freelancer, your whole sales process is gonna come down to just 3 simple steps. All you gotta do is outreach to qualified leads, get on a call with them to pitch your services, and close the sale. Easy, right? Well, it is when you know what you're doing. And if you stick around until the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you need to do to make bank with the OCC. So let's jump into step number 1, outreach to qualified leads. Now, there are 1,000,001 ways to do outreach for your freelance biz, but most people really only focus on 5 of them. You've got Upwork, organic social media, cold calling, LinkedIn direct outreach, and cold email. Each of them has its pros and cons. Upwork's great because there are a ton of available gigs and the platform is super popular with solopreneurs, agencies, and even big companies like Microsoft who are looking to hire. But there are a lot of downsides to Upwork too. For one, it costs you money every time you apply to a gig, so you really have to be ready to spend money to make money. And even then, it's hard to find high-paying clients on Upwork. I mean, just take a look at some of the posts I saw when I was poking around earlier. I need a professional content writer. Required experience level, expert. Pay, $5. Build responsive website. Required experience level, expert. Pay, $25. Legal consultant. Required experience level, expert. Pay, $20. And let's say you get really lucky and find a gig you want to take. Upwork's fee is gonna pick 20% of that right back out of your pocket. So Upwork, definitely not passing the vibe check. 2 out of 5 tacos. What about organic outreach on social media? Like posting value-based content in relevant Facebook groups and hoping you get a bite. Upside, if you're a really great writer and you find a group that's hyper relevant to your niche, and you have the time to send lots of DMs, then this could actually work. But producing content is a major time suck. Not to mention, people instantly recognize what you're trying to do, so they get defensive, and then the group owners catch on, which means you risk catching the ban hammer. But hey, it might work for some. I just don't think it's worth the effort. So, 3 out of 5 tacos. Next, we've got cold calling. For the uninitiated, cold calling is when you open up a phone book, a Google Maps listing, or an Excel spreadsheet full of phone numbers, and you call up businesses just out of the blue. Typically, it goes something like this. Hi, can I speak to the owner of this fine establishment? Hi, my name's Jay and I'm calling because I work with businesses like yours to... Hi, you wouldn't be interested in... I wouldn't. So cold calling, definitely not the move. 0 out of 5 tacos. LinkedIn though, this is where things start to pick up. Because LinkedIn is a platform that was designed to connect you with other professionals. It's got a B2B focus, which means people are usually open to building new relationships that can help their business. And according to some stats I was reading recently, 80% of users believe that professional networking is vital for success. So people on there are a lot more open to connecting with you. And because LinkedIn has tons of info on all of its users, it's so easy to find targeted prospects.
But Jay, there's gotta be a catch, right?
Ah yes, LinkedIn does have one con. You need a premium account with Sales Navigator to really kick your results into overdrive. It's possible to succeed without Sales Nav, but it's a lot harder, so keep that in mind. Overall though, LinkedIn is probably the best platform you'll find for lead gen, so I give it 5 out of 5 tacos. Another great strategy for outreach is cold email. Cold emailing is like cold calling, except not at all. Historically, cold email has generated incredible results for freelancers in every industry from copywriting to design to web dev, VA, and consulting. It lets you connect directly with decision makers. And if you do it right, you could land high-paying, long-term contracts. The only downside to cold email is that you need to either spend the time or the money to get a list of qualified prospects. So overall, really solid way to generate leads for your biz, but it does have one big downside. For that reason, I'll give cold emailing 4 out of 5 tacos. Now at this point, you're like, all right, Jay, I get it. I gotta choose between LinkedIn and cold emailing. But hold up, ¿por qué no los dos? See, if you had to do everything manually, I would totally tell you to focus on one or the other. But we recently launched a deal on AppSumo for a software called Walaxy that's gonna revolutionize the way you do your outreach. Check this out. Walaxy is an automation software that combines LinkedIn and cold emailing to put you in touch with people who wanna pay you big bucks for your freelance skills. The way it works is super simple. All you gotta do is connect your LinkedIn profile. Then import a list of qualified prospects from LinkedIn, and Walaxy will also grab their emails so you don't have to worry about digging around for them on your own. From there, you can create outreach sequences that combine LinkedIn messaging with cold emailing, so you're pretty much guaranteed to get noticed. Plus, Walaxy has some of the most advanced features out of any automated outreach software. You've got ultra personalization, so all of your messages sound like they were written individually, even though they're automated. You've got workflows that trigger different actions in your sequences based on how your prospects interact with you. And you've got a limit of up to 100 new connections a day, which is crazy because LinkedIn recently changed the rules, so now every other software can only do 100 connections a week. You'll literally be prospecting 7 times as effectively as other freelancers who use similar software. To check out Walaxy, just click the link in the description below. Now step 2, getting on a call to pitch your services. If you're doing everything right from step 1, you've automated your LinkedIn and email outreach, and now you're getting positive replies from qualified prospects, which means it's time to get on the phone and pitch your services. Now, it's almost impossible to close high-ticket freelance contracts without having a phone call first. Because a client will only wire 5 figures into your bank account if they're able to connect with you, build rapport, and make sure that you're the right person to help them grow their business. And there's a really easy way for you to do that. It's a 3-part sales method that positions you as an expert so your prospect feels totally safe buying from you. Check it. First, tell me what you want. Second, I'll tell you why that's wrong. Third, here's what we should do instead. Let's break this down a little bit. So when you get on the call, you're gonna start with small talk. Just keep it super casual with stuff like, how's your week going? Easy, right? They'll answer, then ask you how yours is going. You'll tell a little story about how you and your friends had to save the world from a super skilled assassin / high performance driver who just so happens to be your buddy Dom's forsaken brother. And you'll transition by saying something like, okay, awesome. I know we're only scheduled for 30 minutes, so let's hop into the super serious business stuff. If you keep it lighthearted and playful, they'll laugh and you'll have some really solid rapport by this point. Next up, you're gonna launch into tell me what you want. So let me explain the psychology a little bit more before I tell you what to do here. A bad salesperson goes into a conversation with a prospect and they just go off and try to sell. Now, that's not good because you can't sell properly if you don't know what the prospect actually wants, right? So before you ever say anything about your services at all, you want to dig for pains, desires, and objections. And you can do that with one simple question. So you mentioned you're looking for a designer or a copywriter or a consultant or whatever. Can you tell me a little bit more about the project you have in mind? And boom, just like that, they'll start talking. You'll listen to them, ask them more questions, and make sure to take notes. After maybe 10 or 15 minutes, you'll know enough about the project to move into the next phase of the conversation. I'll tell you why that's wrong. Now, that probably sounds really abrasive, right? Popular sales theory would have you believe that you shouldn't ever disagree with your prospect. But if you can do it the right way, it can be super powerful. So you're not actually gonna say the words, you're wrong and here's why. You gotta finesse it a little bit. Because what you've gotta remember is that your prospect is coming to you for help. So they might only have a very vague idea of what they want and they probably don't know the best way to execute it. So it's your job as a professional to guide them to the right answer. The best way to do this is to say something like this. Okay, great. Now, in my experience, when it comes to achieving this goal, you absolutely can do it in the way you're thinking. But if you do it in that way, you risk running into these big obstacles. Does that make sense? And because you're the pro, you're going to be able to create a really solid argument as to why their plan isn't the best use of their time, their money, or their energy. They won't have any choice but to agree with you, and that's when you can lead them into here's what we should do instead. Now that would typically go, fantastic, so what I'm thinking is that we should do this really awesome thing. And if we can do that, then we shouldn't have any problem fulfilling your desires and or overcoming your pain points. What do you think? And just like that, You built rapport, established yourself as the expert, and got them to agree to your plan. Easy peasy. So just to sum it up one more time, you get on the phone, build a little rapport, then you start with, tell me what you want, go into, I'll tell you why that's wrong, and end on, here's what we should do instead. If you can be friendly, helpful, and professional, you've basically got it in the bag. But there's one important caveat I need to mention. If you're working from a noisy home or a busy coffee shop or one of those shared office spaces, you've got way too many distractions around you while you're trying to make this sale. And even the smallest distraction risks throwing everything you've worked for out the window. Like, imagine you're in the middle of your pitch and your dog starts barking, or an ambulance goes by, or people next to you are chatting, and suddenly your prospect can't hear what you're saying, so you lose them. That's why whenever I talk to freelancers about sales calls, I always recommend they check out Iris Clarity. Iris Clarity is an app you can download on PC or Mac that uses AI to suppress all the background noise that could potentially distract your prospects from your pitch. The way it works is really simple. Once you've got it installed, you just need to boot up your favorite video calling software, whether that's Zoom, Google Meet, or Skype, and select Iris as your default mic. Then the app gets to work and you can rest assured that your voice is coming through crystal clear without any background noise. So the chances of you making the sale shoot up exponentially. Sounds great, right? You can click the link below to get more info. Alright, so you got the lead gen going, you're getting on calls with qualified prospects, and they're actually saying yes. What's next? Well, all you gotta do is close the deal. But that's easier said than done. How many times in your life has a prospect agreed to your offer, then backed out before signing a contract? Way too many, right? Well, if you ask around, a lot of people will tell you that's just the way it is. I disagree. Truth is, people back out because you make it hard for them to give you money. I'm serious. Because when you send over a boring PDF stuffed with jargon, they're gonna be thinking, man, I really don't want to read this, and I shouldn't sign something I haven't read, so... That's why you have no choice. You have to improve the way you send your proposals. Otherwise, all the work you've put in up till now was worthless. You can open up Canva and design your proposals yourself, which isn't a great use of your time, or you could drop a rack on a designer to build out your proposals for you, which isn't a great use of your money, or you could hop into Proposa. Proposa is a conversion-focused proposal creation platform that's designed to help you close more sales. It's got an intuitive interface with all the elements you'll ever need to look max profesh. So when you send out proposals to potential clients, they'll be like, just got your proposal. Very impressive. When can we get started? Plus, with real-time notifications, you'll get alerts whenever someone opens up your doc, so you'll know when and how to follow up. To get all the deets and see if Proposa is right for you, just click that link in the description. So to recap, here's the best sales strategies for freelancers who want to close more high-ticket clients in 2022. 1. Focus on LinkedIn and email outreach so you can target highly qualified prospects. 2. Build rapport, flex your expertise, and make the sale. 3. Lock it in with a conversion-focused proposal. Sure, you can do all of that on your own if you want to, but if you value your time, check out the software bundle we've prepped for you by clicking the link below. When you do, you'll find all the info about Walaxy, Iris Clarity, and Proposa, so you can decide for yourself if they look like the kinds of tools that'll help you make money this year. But this deal won't last much longer, so you've got to get in on it ASAP as possible. Click the link below.